Hey guys, Gutenfree here, and today I'm going to be talking about a movie series which you have either already watched at least once in your life or should have watched at least once in your life. And of course, I'm talking about Toy Story. This movie series is amazing, and so far I have rewatched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. And I'm planning to rewatch 4 tomorrow, but I heard that 4 sucks. So I just wanted to give a review of the series so far for the first 3 movies, and then I'll give you a review of the 4th movie later on. Well, first of all, of course, what's most important is the actors, the soundtrack, all the little parts about the movie which isn't the plot, right? All that stuff is amazing. The screenwriter, he had this wonderful TED Talk, I'll have it linked below, where he talked about storytelling and helped me so much since I'm working on storytelling and writing my own screenplays. I was just so inspired by him, and that's part of the reason why I rewatch his movie. Then there is the music. It's just amazing. You Have a Friend in Me is like everyone knows every single word to that song. Now, to be fair, You Have a Friend in Me is a pretty simple song, but it's just like ingrained in our heads. Every single child who grew up in my generation knows that song. And like the children from even the last generation, because this movie was made in like 1980, I think the first one. So it's just important to know that like this movie and this series of these first 3 movies had such a profound impact on people. And I'm so glad that they actually made the 3rd movie, because the 3rd one was made in 2010, which was like 10 years after, more than 10 years after the 2nd one. And the ending for the 3rd movie is so good. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it, but just the way it ended, it needed to end that way. And I feel like the 3rd movie is a perfect endpoint. That's it. Cut it. That's it. That's the end of the series. I don't know what they're gonna do in movie number 4, and I have a slight suspicion that I'm not gonna like it, because I feel like Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending. Why did they bring it back 9 years after the 3rd movie ended? I don't know. Please don't spoil it for me in the comments. I still haven't watched Toy Story 4, but from what I understand, I'm not gonna like it because it's gonna continue the story, which doesn't need to be continued. I feel like this 3 movie saga just did exactly what it had to do. The first movie taught us, I mean, for kids, it teaches the themes of friendship and like, you know, to be true to your friends and have like those strong bonds, and what it means to have a good friendship, like the dynamic between Buzz and Woody. And then also the fact that like don't be mean to others, don't boss people around. You don't have to be the top of the group, you don't have to be the leader to be a worthy person to be around others. That was a lesson that Woody had to learn in that movie. And then you go into the 2nd movie and it has its own lessons, and the 3rd movie and it has its own lessons. You know, I don't want to go too in depth about it, because again, that's kind of maybe even spoiling the series a little bit. But like each of these movies are really good, not only for children because it does teach a lesson to them, but it's also good for teenagers, young adults, and maybe even parents, because there are jokes in there that go over kids' heads. And I'm sure there's even some jokes that maybe went over my head. I don't know, but most of them I got, and there were actually some like there were some jokes that kids definitely should not be in the kids movie. And then in the 3rd movie was really dark even at some points. Like there was literally a point when, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but there were some really dark points in the 3rd movie, and I really liked it. It kind of reminded me of, and now this is a spoiler for One Piece, Dressrosa arc. So if you're planning to watch One Piece, then probably skip over this part of the video. There will be a timestamp to where to skip to, that in the description. But this reminded me of Dressrosa in One Piece, when Candy, the little girl on Don Quixote's crew, the one that makes people into dolls, it kind of reminded me of that, because it's like that really, really dark society of living dolls, which are just humans trapped in doll bodies. And it kind of reminded me, like, the Toy Story dolls are going for like a similar thing that those people were going through in the third movie. Like they were both dark worlds. Of course, the one in One Piece is much darker because they're actual humans trapped inside of the dolls. But either way, like both of these, like they're both really pretty dark themes, right? So it really reminded me of that. And since I'm a big One Piece fan, for me that was like crazy because I never thought that Toy Story, which is like this kids movie, would remind me of that. So yeah, I mean, I was blown away by these three movies. I didn't think that there would be anything special. I mean, I knew that the writer was amazing because again, I heard his TED talk before watching the movies. He was the one that inspired me to watch them. But I didn't think that it would be this good. But it's amazing. It really is. And the same writer who wrote Toy Story also wrote Finding Nemo. He also wrote WALL-E. He also wrote A Bug's Life. He wrote all these movies. So, it makes sense why this movie is so good. Like if you've seen his other movies, you understand that he's a really good writer. So I strongly recommend watching Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. And then later, I'm going to be watching Toy Story 4. I'll let you guys know what I think. All right, guys, have a good day.